Okay, so if you're here for the coloring tutorial that I'm making. So, as you can see, we have a pretty simple or typical Naruto manga panel. This is of one of the pains, and there, just chilling out on the ground right there. Just having a nice little sleep. So, this goes from start to finish, how I personally color panels. So what I would start by doing is naming the black and white panel lines. Then you want to go and duplicate it and have original lines. Because what you're going to do is change the lines, or I guess alter them, and you want to have a non-altered version to go off of in case you mess up. So what I personally would start off doing is erasing the solid black colors that you can see throughout this pen. So what I'm going to do is just select these, and I will cut to when I'm finished by selecting. So as you can see, I've finished with the pen tool making a path around all of the solid blacks. Now you want to hold Control. I assure you, this is getting rid of the blacks is not a racial slur. You want to hold Control and press Enter. That makes selection. Then you want to go to Select, modify, contract by 2 pixels. Make sure it's on 2. Then you press the delete button, and boom, what happened to everything? It's all gone. Exactly. My point. It's magic. Not really, it's not magic, it's Photoshop. Now go back to your unaltered lines, and you'll be like, oh, boom, it's back, got all the lines. And these white lines, you want to redraw over and create paths. And this is why you keep the original lines. Because boom, there you go. That's all you gotta do. Just drag those, and even if it's broken, just redraw it. You can have a little fun while redrawing it. You can, if you wanna, for example, add some folds on clothes just to help you when you're shading later. No problem, you can do that. But I personally like to stick just to how Kishimoto drew it. And then boom. So hold Control and click each time you're done making a line, so you can make a new path. And when you're done, make sure you do it again. Get off of the original lines, press B for brush, go to a nice black color. Make sure you're on a default hard brush, go to 2 pixels, press Enter, go to 1 pixel, press Enter twice. Get out of this, and it appears I may have used the wrong colors. No, I have not. Okay, so I'm actually going to go with a new approach. I'm going to do it with 3 pixels first, 1 time, and then 2 pixels twice. Yes, thickness was the problem. Okay. And then I will go over it with the sharpen tool, just to make them look a little bit more like the original Kishimoto lines. Then what you want to do is create a new layer, go under it, and then just call it Coloring Background. You want to select a white color, go over every last bit, every little last bit. Then when you go to lines, go to this channels tab, click on this dotted circle, it'll select, press delete. Then go back to the lines, click this, lock transparent pixels, select black, and then color over everything, and you got your lines nice. And what this does is keep the lines on a transparent layer so you can color them later. Then you want to unlock the pixels, go with your eraser tool, make sure it's on a hard brush. Then you want to go through and kind of taper off a few of your lines so they look more natural. And there we go. And then you can name your file whatever. Paint color doodle up. 10 out of 10. Okay. So now what you're going to do is called base coloring. That's where you want to create, in between the coloring background and the lines, a layer for each thing. For example, skin base color, or hair base. And what this does is if one's above it, so let's say Pain's an alien. He turns into an alien. He's got green skin. Alright, and then skin. And then on the hair layer, he's suddenly got yellow hair. So when you color, it won't interfere with that layer. You can color all over it, but it'll just go under it. So that's the basic thing. And what you want to do with this is I already have some colors chosen. You want to go through and, oops, I have made a mistake. I'm going to cut to when I'm finished fully erasing the black, which I forgot to do. So now that that is finished, you have nice lines. So you want to get your predetermined skin color, for example, and then you want to go through with the polygonal lasso tool and just select the area of the skin. So once you finish selecting the area of the skin, fill it in with your skin color, and boom, you have the skin finished. The skin is base colored, and you can go through and erase any extra bits that you left selected or accidentally base colored in the wrong color. For example, the teeth, any marks, any little bits on the character's face or around, and leave the rest of it white. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut when I have all of this base colored. Alright, well, let's do this. I'll see you when I have it finished base colored. Okay, so now I've got everything base colored perfectly, 10 out of 10, can't handle it. But you may say, hey, there's some smoke in there that you don't got. Well, the thing is, with this type of smoke, I like to do it a little bit differently. So I'll show you that in a little bit once I'm done showing you about shading. So for shading, you want to have, I have a customized brush already, but I can still show you. Hold on one second. Alright, so you take a regular hard brush, you click on brush, just go to window, then brush. Make sure transfer is on pen pressure for both opacity and flow jitter. Then you want to have, I already have some colors set up, so that explains why I'm doing this. Something. Yes, okay. So I already have some colors set up. Alright, good. So I already have some colors set up for this coloring. And so what you kind of want to do is think of a light source. So I think the sun's coming from, coming from this way. So it's boop, 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 boop. It's going to hit certain spots. So like the sun's going to hit like here. The sun's going to hit here, 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 here. And there's certain spots where the sun is not going to hit. And that's where you're going to want to put your shadows. So let's get this started. I'm going to get, I like to kind of put it like the size of the iris of the eye, which would be about that size. That's normally my shading brush size. So then you want to just shade in very simply. This is kind of a tutorial for beginners, so I'm not going to go too advanced for the shading. Just simply where the light would not hit and where shadows would be cast. So that's kind of what I'm getting at right here. And of course, you can go back and fix your shadows at any time if you think they're either not in the right spot or just not done well, or well enough to your liking. People have standards, no? So, bad joke. Let's get this started. Alright. So, this certain pane has a lot of weird folds on his face. I don't know what they are. So what I'm going to do is just shade kind of behind those folds to accentuate them and make them pop out a little bit more, but also clean up my shadows a bit because, you know, don't want messy shadows. Clean it up. Let me make these shadows a little bit better as well, because the big thing is shadow shape. If shadows are not shaped correctly, your coloring will just simply not look very good. So it appears he has a weird thing right here going on. And I guess that helps with no shape too, so that's good. You don't want to overcomplicate what you're doing. You want to make it as simple as you can. Simple equals better most of the time. Don't know when that's going up there. That's really weird. Let's see, let's see. So this can be just a pretty darker area. Alright, so I have, with magic, then not jump cut magic, real magic. Yep, magic is real, kids. Harry Potter, he is a wizard. Okay, so with magic, what I've done is selected a darker color, which is really nothing. It's just going in and making your color darker. It takes no skill. So then, just kind of want to do that a little bit. Work a little bit more on your shading shapes. Don't really show that what you use is a round brush. Kind of just make the shapes your own. So now what I'm going to do is add what I like to call highlights, where you just highlight. You highlight areas where light hits and accentuate certain shapes on the face. So for these folds for example, I could do that. I could do that in there, the eyelids, around here. I could add some darkness around here. And yeah, it looks a little bit weird. I'm going to tone that down. But yeah, you kind of get the idea. That they should be there to accentuate the shapes. Now for hair shading, a lot of people want to know. Oh, always when you're shading, create a clipping mask. That makes it so you can only shade inside of the base color. So let me grab my hair shading color. Now hair is basically the same, but you want to follow the shape of the hair. So you could do something like go up here, go down here, and then up here you just go up, down, and then you could slowly just kind of like push it back until you get to like back here. This is kind of just a basic idea, but the way I'm actually going to do it is a little bit different, where the shadows will be more back here. Notice how I'm not making it look too messy. The way I color is very messy, and this is a very simple style. So, yeah, it was bad. Alright. So you kind of want to just accentuate the shapes of the hair. If it's spiky, keep that shit spiky, yo. And keep it mad spiky. That's kind of what you're going for. Just to keep the basic shape of the hair, but also just make it generally look pretty nice. Now this is a very good style to begin with because it's simple and it's also easy to do. Just always keep your light source in mind and you should never have any trouble. Now if you have trouble with techniques, just send me a message or put a comment and I can be sure to help you out. And of course, back to the highlights, back to shading this, and there we go. What do you think? Pretty simple? Yeah. Good looking? Yeah. I'm gonna kind of work on this a little bit more, and I'm gonna get the rest of the stuff shaded, and when I come back, I can show you about backgrounds. Let's go. Going on an adventure. The coloring, do another one's coloring. Sasuke, Naruto, the world shall know pain. Now, headbands. Boom, that was magic, by the way. I just skipped through time. Headbands are another story. When you're doing a headband, you want to make it look like a medal. Well, that's kind of obvious. But you want to make it shiny and cool and just well done, I guess you could say. Okay, so headbands, you want to make them look like metal. So you kind of want to make them roundish, which is what I'm going for here. As you can see, very simple. Then you want to get some light up shit right up here, and you want to go through and add some lightness or highlights, as I've mentioned a million times before. What this does is creates the illusion, you could say, I guess, that it is super, super, super cool, right? Like light's reflecting off it, and boom, there you go, you have a headband. Now, rods. Don't know where they are. There they are. So for rods are also metal, so that's the reason I have 3 tones for this. I'm going to make these look like they pop out. It's rod pop out time. That's the weirdest thing I've ever said. So that's basically what I'm doing. And I will cut to when I'm done. So here we have the pain character finished. Now I want to work on the rocks. So find yourself a concrete texture brush. Any kind would most likely work. I've just acquired a few. I'm sorry I do not have the link anymore, but I've acquired a few. That's purple, okay, great. Of these brushes. And what they can do is make rocks look rocky. Not like Yo Adrian Rocky, but I mean, you know what I mean. Then you can take a brush of your choice, and it's entirely up to you. I personally use a kind of cloudy brush, and I go and I kind of paint in the rocks. You can even use a hard brush for this. It's really, in the end, it's your choice. That's why it does not really matter. So this rock light source thing applies too, but generally just the sides are dark and the tops are light. That's generally what to go off for rocks. So the rocks can be as advanced or simple as you want, depending on the look that you're going for or your skill level. If you can make rocks like I do, then good for you. If you can't, then it is perfectly fine. Just go off of what your skill level pertains to. I don't think that's the right word. Whatever. So, almost finished. I just have to paint in a little bit more. You could say I have to paint in. I'm sorry. Okay, so these rocks can be a little bit better. I'm going to shade in individual rocks. There we go. Now I'm going to add some slight green to it because, you know, just for, I don't know. I just like to experiment around. I mean, it all depends. Experimenting is another big part of coloring. If you don't like how something looks, you don't have to use it. So I'm going to try some very low opacity green just to see. Let's try it like that. Nah, it's good. Okay. So then to the smoke, which I'm going to put above the lines. This smoke can again be done with any brush. I am going to try to find the link for the brush and put it in the description if I can. But for now, I do not have the name. Now, this is originally a cloud brush, but it works very well for smoke. So, I was just gonna make a really stupid joke there, so never mind. There we go. I just like to get the basic rough shapes in. It can all be fixed later. But for now, just some basic shapes. Shade it, and then put the objects that are in front of it, and it's all good. So I'm going to make a new layer, and like I do when I shade, create a clipping mask, and do a little bit darker, change the opacity down. I'm going to try to smoke it up. Smoke it up. I'm going to try to just blend it and truly make it look like what smoke looks like. That's kind of like I can smoke it here. It's very around because and that's really how it's going. Okay, now I can load it as a myself, see what it's going over, and then just delete the spot where it should be with the eraser. It's very cool. You don't want to overflow or things that be very careful with this. If you want, you can leave it opacity though. That's it. So let me do. Delete opacity of it. Take these lines, and then leave opacity, eraser. It's over. And so very visible. But if you do the smoke, it'll shake. And that's the only way you can go for it. So I'm going to shake as long as it's not too overdone. Alright, so now I'm going to show you the smoke a little more shake. Look at this. So what do you do? Just kind of make it like those moves. And this should effectively make it look up. And there we go. So then I'm going to illustrate myself, so I'm going to try just blend the smoke a little bit. And just see what happens. Just see if I can get it. So there we go. Then we try to go back and we go back on I have those nice items. Also, like, these are shit. And I don't have items back here, so it's going to be And once that's finished, I have my sky done. You want to color the little rock that's up here. So I can take a nice smoky color, wrong brush, and then just color over it. Because these rocks are higher up, so I think they'd probably be a little bit smaller. Oops, it's above the lines. So there we go. Then, for atmosphere, what I'm going to do is take a layer above everything, make it a screen layer, make it a kind of tannish color, use a gradient that goes from the color to transparent, and just drag it down where the light source would be. And voila! You have a nice, finished, colored panel. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was just a quick tutorial on how to color. And hopefully this helps some beginners out. Well, I'll see you guys.